Back of the Bus podcast coming to you with another comic book review. Today we got a special edition. We're not doing anything big two today. The indie comic going by the name of Valley of the Kings. All right?
Yep.
Actually got approached by the author of this book. Shout out to Steven for hitting me up. Got some glimpses of this book in the early stages. Was very interested, and the author was gracious enough to give us a peek into it so we can review it. So I definitely appreciate it, and we're going to check it out. The first thing that I have, well, let me introduce everybody while I'm getting ahead of myself. Our writer, Stephen John. Artist is Ink Rebel. Lettering by Novella Lacratani. And the cover art is Julian Shaw. The first thing I'm going to say about Valley of the Kings that hit me the first time I read it, and even now just reopening it. I saw this book. Did I see it in 2022? I believe I did. This cover was probably the best cover I had seen all year. There were a couple Storm X-Men Red comics in the middle of there. There were some nice ones with the Axe event, as well as it was a King in Black that happened in 2022. One of those Kate's events. But man, this was by far the best cover that I've seen all year, and I'm not exaggerating. That's how I feel for sure.
As somebody who got taught how to do it but just didn't pursue it, I can appreciate the fact where the lighting is coming from. Like, that's the first thing. Like, you finna sit up here and draw a character with this amount of shade and shadow in the face on everything. There has to be a point of reference for the light. So just let me go ahead and say to the cover artist, and we know the cover artist to be Julian Shaw. You did your thing. You did your thing.
For sure.
Man, listen, you did your thing, and the use of the different color textures when it comes to the gold, because we do you did your thing. You did your thing. I could tell you gave a damn about what you was doing.
Sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So the premise of the book, real quick, is that it's sort of a post-apocalyptic thriller. Right? There has been a disease outbreak that has happened in the world, and there is this community where the citizens aren't susceptible to the airborne disease, the airborne virus. So the only way that they're able to get infected is by direct contact with one of the infected, right? So it's kind of Walking Dead-esque. They are zombies, right? That is what the disease turns you into. So on first glance, that's what the book reads as. Just your run-of-the-mill post-apocalyptic thriller. Then they add the extra layer of these omnipotent beings who are, to the layman or to the layperson, would be akin to Illuminati, right? They're the secret society people pulling the strings from behind the curtain, the people who are actually behind your politicians, who are actually behind the oil companies and Hollywood and all that other stuff, right? And plot twist on that as well, they're not even human. They're God, or they are, but they're not. They're gods, essentially, right? Who have been here throughout the world's history and decided to take advantage of it now. So that's the pretext to the story that we got here, right? We're at the Briggs residence. In the first couple pages of the book, we get introduced to Darnell and AJ, a father and son living in this world, right? Living within the community of the immune, essentially. Dad walks in to the son's room, into AJ's room while he's not there, sees a hoodie. When AJ comes in, he begins to talk to him about why he can't have the hoodie, and it's given a little bit of pretext about what may be going on in the neighborhood, what may be going on, in the community at large in terms of, attire. And that kind of obviously plays on certain stigmas and things that go on today in Black communities around wearing hoodies. Obviously, the Trayvon Martin story comes to mind and something like that. So there's a little bit of cultural context in this, which I could recognize and appreciate. You also get a bit of a natural father-son dynamic, even outside of something like this in a post-apocalyptic world, even outside of talking about something like gangs. it's a natural kind of tug and war or natural battle that a father's going to have with his growing, aging son, who's looking to branch out and be his own man and above all, do what everybody else is doing, just trying to be a normal kid. Right, and then you have his father who knows better and who is trying to put him on the right path and guide him to safety, guide him to prominence, guide him to making it out of whatever current strife they're in.
I was thinking about, like, you know, when you're introducing a brand new characters, you kind of want to use their name up front. Go ahead and get it out of the way. Find a any what to do, because I'm trying to be ahead of the game, and I know at some point in time you're gonna ask me what the young lady's name is, and I can't tell you.
Can't find it. Yeah. Well, it could be purposeful or it could be an oversight. We're not sure, but
that's one of the things when you're doing it, you know, because first of all, shout out to the writer. Let me not get like that, because the story does have me intrigued. I don't.
Hey man, everything here is honest critique, and we definitely not trying to put anybody down. We appreciate Steve.
When we introduce new characters, you know, go ahead and go on find some excuse to go ahead and get their name out the way. Because when we start talking about the character, we're gonna talk about it.
I didn't notice that the first time or first couple times reading it, and then it's just now that we're working our way through the book that it became a prominence.
His writing style is very, very comfortable. So that's the chance you'll be like, man, we come across.
Hey, his dialogue is already tighter than a certain writer that we know. So hey. As far as ladders go, he's up there.
Shots fired.
Oh man, we go from that conversation, that interaction with Darnell and AJ, to a new character. Darnell and this new character's lady seem to be part of a security detail of some sort on this giant wall that's overlooking, I presume, the wasteland where everybody else is at who's not immune.
Before you go there, I like the fact that we got a brother shedding some tears. Like a brother that gives a damn about the relationship between him and his son. We don't see that illustrated enough in comics. We don't even see that mentioned enough in regards to, because we've talked about this in regards to other characters and everything like that. Where's the father at? Where the black male characters at and everything like that. So to show this interaction between a black father, a black son, a father who's definitely concerned about his son to the point where it emotionally moves him and everything like that. Bro, you got me.
Look at the message there on that panel. Lies pierce deeper. Repercussions have magnified tenfold. And right before they have that little exchange and he walks out, or looks like maybe cleaning the dishes, he goes back and gets his hoodie. He goes back and gets the spare hoodie he had hidden underneath his bed. So he's determined, just like most young men at his age are determined to do what they want, their fathers, and do what they want to do, and prove that they know better. So we'll see where that ends up there for young AJ.
Facts.
So yeah, back on the wall the next day, Darnell and his partner here, whoever this is, are discussing what's going on with AJ and how he's kind of pulling away. And you kind of get the tone set to what kind of existence they have outside of their happy home that Darnell and AJ got going on there. What kind of existence is around this community who's had the ultimate amount of luck? It looks like they're picking off some of the infected, trying to keep them off of some of the people who are down there on the ground. One of the things I was a little unclear on at this part was whether or not they were just clearing them out to get the zombies out of the way, and there were people on the ground who were, kind of doing the chopping, or if there was just some people stuck out there and they were trying to clear a path for them. Either way, it's still kind of establishing what kind of tone, what kind of setting we're in terms of what is it like to live in this world? What is it like to have your day-to-day? What kind of things do you encounter? They're having a normal conversation while they're doing this, right? They're catching up on family business while they're shooting zombies. So it must be an everyday occurrence.
This is something that they've been dealing with for an extended period of time. It's a way of life. They've gotten accustomed to it.
He's catching up on the family.
Right.
So they Darnell, in Black Rambo, jumps off the wall and decides his machete is better than his rifle and goes to work. But he gets homeboy, right? He gets the person that's being chased and pulls him inside. So they begin to have their debrief with him, right? They begin to ask, hey, where you from? What you doing? Why you here? That kind of thing.
Those some very valid questions, bro. Why you put down your automatic weapon, bro? Bro, why you?
Heroes like to show off. They do illogical stuff just to show their power set sometimes. You know, like I know I got this rifle, but let me show you what I can do with this machete, though.
You know, it's enough to read comics and you be wanting to, you already being asked to suspend stuff, you know, like suspend the realm of believability and everything. Like, wait, you did you run out of bullets? Like that? and if you ran out, was there no extra? Like, cause you was on top of the roof. I would have thought y'all had supplies, so you didn't run out. Did you run out? Like, I get him going down to the safe, old boy. I do. I just don't understand why he didn't take his piece with him. So,
I think he did have a sidearm because he shoots one of them. He shoots one of them under the chin while he's down there. So he had a sidearm. He just put the rifle down. He put the big dog down.
I'm not putting that down. Nah, a zombie. I'm not putting that down. Go ahead. I ain't gonna spend too much time on it. We ain't gonna spend too much time on it.
We go from that place at the wall and we go over to the Queen's Palace.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The dialogue here, I like the setup, and I like that they're explaining who it is we're looking at. Not a name yet. We'll get that in the dialogue here in a couple panels. But they're setting the stage for who this person is, what their mind track is right now. What are we thinking about, right? I have tasted power, never wielded it myself, only at the behest of my king. So she's a widow queen, right? A recently deceased husband. And she is running the affairs in his stead after his passing.
So we currently think that he's deceased. So we currently think.
Right. Story's telling us that he's dead as of right now.
Yeah. I'm just like, how she started this, I wouldn't have thought she felt for her husband like how she felt for her husband. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. You know what? I might.
Well,
I'm gonna read the dialogue and you tell me what you got from it.
No, look. Okay, so first of all, on the dialogue, just to drive home the fact how much better this is than some big two writers. Like seriously, y'all, there are some people writing for DC and Marvel right now who don't have, number one, they don't have the care enough to research different areas of the world and see how they speak and what makes sense for them to say. If this is some sort of African queen that we're looking at, right? I completely understand everything they're saying, why she's acting the way she is. You know, the subjects, right? She said she has a point in here where, you know, obviously she's getting out of the tub, she's getting dressed, her male advisor comes in, he turns away, right? She tells him the prudish American views of female form have rubbed off on you, have they? Like John Ridley wishes. He wishes he could write something like that makes sense for a person living in that area. Shouts out to you, man, in your pen for sure. Shouts out to you.
What's this? And what you said earlier about them studying and caring, I wasn't gonna mention his name because we done went through this and they mentioned his name.
Well, he done came up a couple times, so we already here. But we ain't gonna spend a whole lot of time on it. This ain't his name.
He's got a degree in studying East Asian languages. Yes, he does care. He cares.
Oh, he cares about another language. He's other people's language. Yeah.
He cares about what he cares about, yeah. which is nothing that has anything to do with this. As Marcus said, bruh, you did that. Because I was like, ooh, that queen told him, hey, you ain't gotta turn away from grown ass.
It helps the flow of the book. It helps to set the stage of everything that's happening. It makes me feel like we're all in the same place. right? Like I can kind of immerse myself in it when everything is aligned.
He's established her without us knowing her name as a queen. He's established her as a strong character. I'm not gonna say female character. He's established her as a strong character who is very much secure in who she is. Now, she does have some concerns elsewhere, but she's a confident person. She's a confident person. She's a queen. So, yes, absolutely shouts out to you. I love it.
The queen confides in Thoth, I think his name is. Confides in him that the pressures of the crown are starting to weigh on her, obviously, with a recently deceased husband, on top of just being a leader and a queen.
He's asking her to consider the fact that even though her, she's in love, she loves her husband, that it might be time for her to consider taking a new
husband. Yeah, okay, that was the subject. So yeah, as she's letting him know about the pressure she's feeling and she's going through this trying time, he does bring up the fact that she needs a mate, right? She needs a king to rule with her. She questions the implication on whether or not that, are you trying to say that I'm unfit to rule? And he kind of parries that in the way that good advisors are able to do. It recenters you. They are able to recenter you off of the criticism and back on the potential growth or your potential a blind spot for you to better yourself. Not necessarily for me to tear you down, but for you to improve.
Right.
So he does a good job of kind of massaging the pill in.
Listen, excellent writing, because honestly, like you said, as an advisor, that's what I'm saying. Listen, this ain't about whether or not you need a man. You don't need the man. That's not what we're saying. But at the end of the day, we know you still human at the end of the day. Now, let's not get it twisted. So the way he says it, the way it's written, is the king would just be a king in name alone.
Right.
Whoever she chooses to be with her is not really going to hold any power. For the most part, he would just be her advisor.
Now, is he, and this is the first time that it dawned on me that this might be what he's trying to do. Is he positioning himself to take that spot?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, as we sit here looking, he says, it's not about whether or not you can rule or not. Put that aside. I know you require companionship. As all creatures do, even queens become lonely. Are you certain of our friendship, or is this something else? This isn't the time. I have a guest waiting for you in the office. So they clearly have some other relationship that is beyond the professional, right? And so, to me, is he telling her to find another suitable king? Or is he prepping himself to maybe be the heir or the next king? Which immediately now introduces, now we got post-apocalyptic thriller, we've got sci-fi, type of thriller with the god stuff, and then we've added political Game of Thrones type intrigue on top of that. I'm here for every layer of the story.
He's telling her, listen, whatever you need, I'm that person. And he said himself, hey, you need somebody, I'm that somebody. Like, right? If we look here, because I was a little bit confused, her hand is the one that has the jury.
Correct. So she's the one who reaches out and touches him and says, are we confused about a relationship or what's going on? And then he tells her, hey, look, not right now. I got somebody in the office. So he's the one, kind of parrying her right now. My thought process is, though, if he's counseling so hard for her to take a mate, who would be the most likely for her to reach out to in this moment, if not the one she'd been, entangling with already, making her feel like, oh, well, it's your decision. Like, I just said you need a mate, not necessarily me, but I said you needed a mate.
Now watch this. The way it works is this. If that were to happen, and I'm asking, they were to get married, right? Hypothetically speaking, these two characters get married. Who sees him as a serious king? He still holds the power.
Yeah.
Because they go, oh, that was just the advisor. That's all they're going to ever see him as, even though he's now the king, is the advisor. They sit up there and say, well, yeah, I'm like you, I'm here for it. I don't want to go too far long, but yeah, he got me interested.
So the guest that Thoth has for the queen is a senator. Looks like, don't know where exactly, but Senator Antonio Esposito, and he's here to discuss some sort of matters, not, suitor related. Obviously, she gets that out of the way real quickly. But he has some information to divulge to the queen. We shoot from that part back over to Darnell. They have the guy that they picked up outside, and they started the debriefing. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you need? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Why are you here? Why'd you show up to these walls? We begin to kind of understand why the guy showed up here, right? He tells them, hey, somebody's got to explain to me what's going on. I've been struggling for years, and you guys have been living in the land of milk and honey. I need answers. I've got to know, what's the secret to this utopia? You guys got health, wealth, resources. Every other civilization in the world has fallen except for one. So it goes back to the premise that we set in the beginning, right? Darnell begins to explain after they, introduce themselves. The community somehow is being protected specifically by those gods, right? And they only revealed themselves after the outbreak. So that couple alarm bells, right? A, you've been here all this time, and now's the time that you choose to reveal yourself. Red flag number one. Red flag number two. Every other civilization, as this guy tells it, in the world has fallen, except for this one, except for this town. So how? Right? Darnell tells them they're immune to the airborne disease and that they're being protected by the gods. The council is what they call them, and they're the new de facto government in this new immune place. So right away, we see two people that we recognize. We got the queen, and we've got your boy in the back, Thoth. And this guy in the front with the gold chain is King Horus, who is, I'm presuming, who is the recently deceased king. This is a shot from, I guess, the first day that they revealed themselves. Survivors of this once great nation. My name is King Horus. Many of you may know me as a character of myth. I assure you I am very real. My people and I have been in the shadows for thousands of years, pulling the strings. We have backed your little revolution centuries ago, and once again we must save this wayward nation. That sounds very, I won't jump to fascism that quickly, but it sounds like, those sounds like the words of someone who has a plan in action. And so when you put all of this stuff together, he even drops the jewel, Darnell does, that the wall that they have protecting the community from all of the infected is eerily similar to how the pyramids were built. Mm-hmm. Draw that connection back, right? So obviously they've been around for a long time. They could have come out at any time, and they chose to come out now. We just so happen to have this civilization destroying disease floating around, and only where they live is immune. I mean, alarm bells all over the place.
There's something going on. Like I said, I'm here for it. Like, I don't even know how else to say it. Like, he got me. Mm-hmm. I really don't know how to say it. Like you said, you got the zombie land going on. You got Egyptian things going on. So you got some science fiction. You got some mythology. You got a father-son relationship going on. You got a potential stabbing in the back government situation going on. You got a lot going on, and it's all flowing like it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's forced. It's all flowing naturally. So I want to see where it goes.
So Darnell and the guy are interrupted by one of the soldiers. He's coming in and telling Darnell that they have an emergency, that one of the gangs is stirring up trouble in the city. He immediately thinks of his son. Right away thinks of his son, right? He found the hoodie in his room earlier. Had a conversation with him, and now guys in blue hoodies are blowing stuff up. Well, his son comes from around the corner, right as he's asking for him, and immediately alleviates any worry he had of him being involved, except right as he realizes that his son is safe and he's okay, the room explodes, they're being attacked. Dad jumps into action, and he is caught dead to rights by one of the Blue Hoodie gang members. I don't know. Do they define them? Do they give them a name in here?
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, one of the members of the Blue Hoodie gang shooting a fired arrow. And he says, vampires are humans. Pick a side. So what I'm gathering from all this is that there is a resistance within this community who has resisted the rule of the quote unquote gods or the council, and is resistant, right? For what I could surmise is probably spearheading the sickness altogether and relegating what's left of humanity to their rule is what I'm kind of seeing being pieced together as of right now. Thoughts on issue 1?
Listen, he got me. So now I'm looking like, okay, we're doing all this paying all this Egyptian homage. Are they zombies or are they mummies?
Hey, it's okay, right? Are we adding monsters? We gonna add another layer?
What I'm saying is, like, with all this stuff about Egyptian mythology, Horus, the brothers, pyramids, and everything like that, you know, yeah, they could be. Cause I'm like, how you, if you zombie? No, he said vampires. He said vampires are humans, right?
He said vampires are humans. Pick a side.
Right. I'm like, vampires walk around in the daytime?
Nah, not no vampires I know.
So
maybe he means vampires just in the fact that they're blood sucking off of the human population.
We're gonna find out in issue 2.
No, for sure. Or it might be legit vampires. Who knows? We're gonna find out in issue 2 of Valley of the Kings.
Yeah.
Definitely come back and rock with us for sure.
Yeah, we're coming back.
As long as the book's coming out, we'll be reviewing it.
Yeah, we're coming back. So yeah. Once again, shout out to you, Julian Shaw. You doing your thing on the artwork. Like, for real. Like,
everybody who had a hand in this book, I definitely commend you getting it out, getting it in front of the world. We always talk about, you know, creating our own stuff and getting our own products out there, and I'm just, you know, I'm appreciative, and I'm glad that you gave us an opportunity to be a part of it. So give us your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for some more review content. Appreciate it, Theo.
As always, brother. Thank you.